Hey guys, Jeff from Home Renovision here today to teach you guys how to paint your ceilings, but we are not doing a traditional roller cage and roller. No siree, today we are going to be painting with a paint sprayer. I went out and bought this unit. For full disclosure, you can rent these at any Home Depot in all of North America. A lot of paint stores will rent this equipment as well. For a lot of homeowners, this might seem intimidating. So today in this video, I'm going to walk you through how to use the machine, how to use the sprayer, how to set the pressure, how to test your paint, how to make your application, how to make it flawless so that you can get a professional result. If you're painting a ceiling and you got, like where I live, it's all flat ceilings, no texture, or if you have texture, it's the same process. It really simplifies life, having the ability to use this machine, and it makes it super quick. You can paint an entire basement. Like here we're doing an almost 2,000 square foot basement. We're going to paint this entire basement, all of the ceilings, in less than an hour. You can't do that with a brush and roller because you got to paint two different directions, right? We've done the video on that. And if this is still intimidating after this video, we'll put a link for that other one. You can do the old-fashioned technique with brush and roller, but today is about speed and perfection, and we're going to do this. So this is an airless sprayer. This is the power switch, on off. Nothing happens if everything is fully charged and pressurized, okay? Now, right here is the PSI, how much pressure you're putting on. And this is the one thing that you can adjust, right? You start it here, you can go all the way up here. I was sort of in the middle-ish, okay? I found that when I'm using flat paint for my ceilings to prime, that was the perfect location. We're gonna have to test the ceiling paint because it's a different mixture. This is your priming switch. When you lift it up, it fills the machine full of paint. And if it's full of paint, then it starts to push it back into the pail. Now it's pressurized. And when it's down, it fills the line. So if you're just starting out and you haven't got any paint anywhere yet, you lift this up, you fill this machine, and then you drop it to fill the line, okay? That's all it is. When you're working and you run out of paint, the machine will go, ah, it'll start making all that crazy noise. All that means is, hey, there's no more paint in the pump. So you come over, you turn it off, you add some more paint to the bucket, turn it back on again, and lift the switch for a few seconds, and then drop it, everything will be pressurized. Not a problem, don't be scared. Nothing bad has happened to the machine. It's just the pump going, I don't have any paint. Now, we got a bunch of hose, and then we have a sprayer. Sprayer has a tip. Here's my arrow, and that's to the direction of the paint. And if you're working away and you start to get spattering and clogging on the wall, you just turn it around the other way, and now you've made the small part of the hole on the inside and the big hole on the outside, and you just clean it out. Okay? And then you can turn it around, and now you got full spray. You can see that. There's not a lot of adjusting going on here. You can have a spray pattern in two different directions, so you can go left to right, or you can go up and down, and that's about it. That's all you need to know to use this machine. It's nice and simple. Now, I just finished doing all of the priming on all of the prime check, and then spot priming all of my prime check. So this is drywall primer. It's not what I want to use to paint the ceiling. It is a flat paint, so I'm not going to go through the process of washing the machine out. I'm just going to switch over the paint. And here we go. Take it off the hook. This is the paint we're going to use. And because I'm trying to be sensitive to the fact that you guys mostly are shopping at the box stores, if you're going to go to Home Depot to rent the machine, you're probably going to go to Home Depot to buy the paint. This is Glidden paint. This is what we have here in Canada. I have no idea what's on the shelf at Home Depot in the United States. Okay, but there will be a product like this, I'm sure of it. Now, here's the deal. This particular product starts off pink and dries white, so you can see what you've painted, which is a huge benefit because the last thing we want to do is put so much paint on the ceiling that it's drippy. You want to get just enough coverage that you get a great finish and it's not drippy. What we're going to do is we're not going to freak out about a little bit of flat paint mixing with the ceiling paint. And I'm just going to remove that, slide this over, kerplunk, all right? Now, what I am going to do is I'm going to turn my nozzle around and I'm going to paint into this bucket to empty the pump and the line of the old paint before I start spraying the ceiling. Let it catch up a little bit here. Notice that sound is very normal and don't be freaked out by it. There we go. Now we got ceiling paint coming into the mix. That's great. I'm gonna get rid of this. All right, now I'm just gonna do a spray pattern test here real quick. Get familiar with the machine. All right, so when I'm holding it like this, the gap is left to right. That's the way it sprays, because it sprays a pretty wide beam. 12 inches off the wall, you end up with about a 12-inch wide spray. So here we go. We're gonna test the spray. What we're looking for is one of two things. One, is it coming out so fast that it's getting runny? Two, is it consistent across the spray pattern? If there's a gap in the spray pattern, right here and right here, then what that means is you don't have enough pressure. And you'll know to just go over the dial and turn it up a little bit. Let's check this out. Wow, that looks really good. Let's just for fun try this with really low pressure. We'll see if it changes anything. Okay, you see this? There's actually a little line. We're gonna increase the pressure and get rid of that problem. So here's really low pressure. You can see it now, right? That's what we're talking about. We don't wanna have that. Might I suggest, grab yourself a piece of drywall while you're picking up your equipment so you got somewhere to test this. That's a very consistent spray. What you want to do is when you're spraying, you start off, this is pretty much where you want your ceiling to be, okay? And this will be on the wall. And then your second line, you want to line your machine up right off the edge of that spray. And that'll give you perfect coverage over time. Now that we got that sorted out, we understand our machine, we got our color, we know we got our pattern. Let's get rid of this. All right, now before we can go and paint, this is a new construction. So I have drywall, I've got primer, I've got patching, I've got more paint, now I've got to sand. Always sand in between coats is very important. It's the difference between a rough surface like this and this smooth as a baby's bum. I'm gonna just use this disc sander here. When you're sanding in between coats, it doesn't require a lot of work. Just a single pass will smooth everything out. Any dust that collected on the ceiling during my process will be removed. And there's no need for me to collect the dust. I don't have to wipe it off or clean it up. It's painted dust and it'll fall straight to the ground. So I just finished sanding my ceiling, sorry. No need for heavy sanding equipment. I don't have to pull out my dustless vacuum sander for this. Just got to make sure you don't fall off your ladder. That's enough to get started. Let's start spraying our ceiling. So just a couple of rules when using this machine. For the purpose of your own protection at home, I would suggest safety glasses. Probably wear a mask. There is a little bit of overspray on this. Just kind of like dust raining out of the sky. Generally speaking, if you stay about 12 inches from the wall, you get best result. You want to be square to the wall, perpendicular. This is the wall. You want to be straight off of it. If I start spraying on angles, I get heavy concentration up near the top and then weak concentration down here. I'll be very inconsistent and I'll get drip lines at the top of my spray. If I spray this way, it's the same problem. So you want to try to stay square to the wall or square to the ceiling as you paint, okay? And the only other thing that I'm going to suggest you might want to know, always release the pressure when you finish a run. Don't just keep spraying like you see the pros doing. It takes a lot of experience to get to that level where you're going to be comfortable with your result, all right? Here we go. So we're going to be painting this bulkhead, the face of it, and the ceiling. So let's just get started. Okay, now it's one coat coverage. We're not doing this twice. And if you're in a room where, let's say there's a big window here, you want to make sure you're spraying across the window. So when the light comes in, you don't have any risk of any minor amounts of discrepancy in the texture because of the amount of volume of paint. That's really the only thing to watch out for. Here we go. We're going to be spraying. That's it. That's not that difficult. That's all you got to do. Slow and easy. If you want to go faster, increase your pressure. Just be careful you're not getting blobs and globs, okay? Time is money, honey. And if you can get it done faster and get the same result, there's nothing wrong with that. As you can see, guys, the ceiling's almost dry. The fun thing is this is a 2-gallon pail. Very affordable. It's only 30 bucks a gallon. And I didn't even use 1 gallon of paint for this whole ceiling. And this room here is, I think it's like 12 by 25. That's a pretty big ceiling. But because it only takes 1 coat to finish, it really goes a long way. Cheers. Now I got to go and finish the rest of this 2,000 square feet. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Click the bell for notifications. And if you haven't been watching from the very beginning, make sure you check out this playlist. This is going to be an amazing project that will empower you to renovate your own house. Cheers.